Hey, welcome back everybody. It's episode number 8 of our Dark Souls Predatory Women playthrough. I last talked about getting the Dark Sword. Well, that ain't gonna happen because there's no way to get to Kath or Koth or Kaith. I already blew it. Alright. Oh well, it's not that important. It was just a spur-of-the-moment thing to think about doing a Dark Wraith playthrough. Well, let me get that mouse cursor out of the way. That looks stupid. Now we have, let's see, the Duke's Archives and Izalith. No, we finished Izalith, didn't we? Well, we are getting really close to the end here, aren't we? I might not have enough material left if I just go straight towards the end of the game. But let's do the Duke's Archives regardless. We'll take it from there. Today's drink of choice is going to be a little different. It's a little later in the day. I've already had plenty of coffee, so I thought I'd have myself a Zevia Cherry Cola. That's a cherry cola that has no sugar, no artificial sweeteners. It uses stevia, which is a natural alternative sweetener that has really no actual substance to it. The stuff lists itself as 0 calories, although I don't believe that the calorie is useful as a nutritional stat. I think the calorie is just a unit of heat measurement that doesn't represent anything that occurs inside the human body, so it's essentially worthless for nutritional purposes. It has no color in it, so therefore you don't have to worry about spilling it. It's not sticky, and it won't stain. Here we go. You ready? When's the last time I cracked open a can on this playthrough, right? Let's go ahead and sit there so we respawn there and take a sip. Cherry Cola, my favorite flavor of Zevia. It's spelled Z-E-V-I-A. In case you're interested. You can find it at a lot of standard grocery stores nowadays. It used to be very difficult. When I first started drinking it, you had to go to those specialty health food stores to get it. But things are better now. All your standard grocery stores are starting to stock more of the health food type items. Woo! Right between the legs. So this episode is going to be about the religious girl. And many of you have probably thought this at one point in time. Gee, with all the trouble that I've learned about women in the red pill, I need to go the safe route. I will just find myself a nice, good religious girl. I'll find myself a traditional, conservative religious girl. Right? Well, no. The problem you're going to run into is that the religious girls are just as bad, if not worse, than the ones that aren't religious. And I'll explain why. Some of you are probably thinking, no, that's not true. They're not just, they're better. They're better because they have standards and they've got societal structures in place to restrict their behavior and make them act better. And well, maybe that kinda used to be true. It's not true anymore, guys, because her religion will be used as a weapon against you. It will probably make things worse, not better. Because now, when you're being a bad man, it's not just that you're bad because you're bad. It's you're bad because you're bad and God says so. God says you're a bad man. That's what the religious girl does. The religious girl gets, basically, the religious girl acts like any other woman. Golly, that sucked. Except she pretends, or she erroneously believes that God is on her side, and now the things she thinks about you, that's not just her, that's God. Or whatever. You know, in most cases, let's be honest, most of you watching this, it's probably going to be Christian girls. Maybe some are going to be Muslim girls. Maybe you think a Muslim girl is going to be better. No. I can tell you stories of guys I know who have received, let's just say, they have gotten, how should I put this? Oral action from a woman wearing her full, burqa outfit or headdress, whatever you want to call it. And this is true. I personally know of one girl that she would wear the outfit. I knew her in college. She would wear the outfit. She strictly followed Ramadan. She seemed like your typical very conservative Muslim girl. And at least one guy told me about her sexual escapades. That they were quite eclectic and quite common and frequent. So she had been with a lot of guys. She was no stranger to that. And of course, you know, her religion teaches her that that's unacceptable and that's terrible, and her whole society and all her family would be opposed to it. But that does not stop them, guys. That's the thing you need to understand. The religious girls, somehow they're able to hold competing viewpoints in their head simultaneously. It's known as cognitive dissonance. We're all capable of it. She will pretend to be a good little girl. She'll pretend to abide by all the doctrines and beliefs of her religion while violating the hell out of them when no one's watching. She does not care what you think of her if you're her target. Religious girls are often either narcissists or borderline, and they know how to hide it or put the mask on when they're in front of the people that they don't want to know. So if it's in front of the pastor, the mask goes up, they hide the negative behaviors. But when it's just you and her, you know how evil and horrible she can be, and violent and aggressive, and just her language can be really terrible, and everything that she's taught not to be. And she will not care in the least bit. And if you try to call her on it, like, for example, you may say, like, well, you know, doesn't Jesus teach, or doesn't Muhammad say, and she'll be like, oh, fuck that shit. Don't bring that stupid shit up with me. Yes, this is for real. This is how some of these religious girls will talk. It will not matter to them in the least bit. They will use it as a means to control you. They will not accept it as a means to control them. If you catch them cheating, they will blame it on you, say it's your fault because you didn't do something for them. Yes, this is for real, guys. I would say that if I had to deal with a borderline or a narcissist who was mostly non-religious or kind of a-religious, like not a straight-up agnostic, she just maybe she had a little bit of religious views, or maybe there was a little bit of religion in there, but it wasn't really critical for her. If I could take that kind of girl with negative personality traits, or a religious girl with negative personality traits, I'd take the one that's not religious. I think you're going to get better results out of her. I think you're going to get less trouble. You're going to find your life goes better with that girl who doesn't have the religion to use as her weapon. Because, like I said, for these good little religious girls, it is nothing more than another weapon. It's another cudgel for them to bludgeon you to death with. It does absolutely no good either to try, like I said, to try to call them on it. They won't accept that. They will use it as a tool against you. They will not accept it as a weapon against them. It will not be a means to control them. But you, on the other hand, because you've accepted your girl's faith, like maybe, you know, you're kind of a believer. You went to Baptist church or Presbyterian church or Methodist church or Catholic church when you were younger, and you meet this girl, and she's really incredible. She's like, we need to go to church together, and this and that, and the church is really important. So, not having super strong feelings either way, you do it, right? You go ahead and do it. But you don't realize that will become your Achilles heel, because you're going to follow those doctrines. You're going to try to do what you're supposed to do, because men have a very keen awareness of having a sense of a code of ethics, and religious doctrines can be a sort of code of ethics. And you're going to try to follow it. You're going to try to abide by it. You're going to try to, you know, take all this responsibility, but she will permit you none of the authority, because you will look to her for permission. And I often talked about this in some of my other playthroughs. The notion that, you know, pastors, even of conservative churches, will say things like, ladies, you need to let your husbands lead. Women, you need to allow your husbands to lead the family. When they say that, there's an implicit bias in there. Do you hear it? I want you to try to think of what I'm about to say. What's the implicit bias? What's the implicit message underneath what they're saying? To me, what I hear is, oh, shoot. Damn. Did you see that guy? Did you see what he did? Look how brutal he is. He's just coming after me hardcore. We're going to take turns parrying each other. How about that? Got him. That spin move is not easy. There we go. Okay, so the implicit thing in that statement women, you need to let your husbands lead. Wives, the idea there is, what he's saying is, who's in charge? Who makes the decision whether the guy leads or not? She does. She has to let him, because he can't do it if she doesn't allow it. Right? That's the implicit bias that's built in there. Of course, the way to get around that is you do not wait for her permission. You do not seek her permission. You don't ask her permission. You don't tell her that you're not letting me lead. You don't say that. You just lead. And if she doesn't follow, she gets left behind. You just lead. You just enforce your boundaries through your actions. You do your thing. You go your direction. And if she doesn't lead, or if she doesn't follow, she doesn't follow. You don't need her permission to lead. Okay, guys? And you don't even need her to follow. If you decide it's time to move to a new house, to a new place, to a new city, for your job or for whatever, it's time to move. And that's what you do. And if she's not good with that, then that's what you do anyway. And if you're married and she's not willing to sign off on selling the house, you file for divorce. You secretly, silently file for divorce, get your lawyer, and plan your escape well to protect yourself from the inevitable fallout that comes from divorcing a woman who doesn't want to be divorced. Or even just divorcing a woman who wants to be divorced. There's still inevitable fallout. Up come the lies, the false accusations, the playing keep away with the children, the money games, the tactics, the tricks, the rallying all the troops around her, trying to get your family and friends to agree with her that you're a bad guy. You're the big mean bad guy, and she's the sweet little innocent girl. Take that. He dead. All right. Well, that is that. Let's do this. Well, hang on. Where are we at? Okay. We're going to kindle this up. Oh, I got to reverse Helen first, darn it. Didn't think about that. I really don't feel like I need this all the way to 20, but heck, why not? We might do other... We're going to do other playthroughs on this character. So let's do it. One of my other characters is going to do a Ornstein playthrough. I believe I have all that set up right now. I don't have the armor fully upgraded, but the weapon is. And Ornstein only has one weapon, so it's easier to upgrade his weapons. There's only one. And we don't have to worry about a shield either, so it'll be another no shield playthrough. I notice I die more with no shield playthroughs. So I think I'm typically reliant on a shield. I like shields. I'm very familiar with shields in these games. I'm pretty good at dodging and rolling. You guys have seen, but I prefer shields. It's my style. I like shields. I typically don't go with the great shields. I just like good medium shields. That's my way of doing things. Gosh darn it. Again, one of the weaknesses of this weapon is the same as the Knight Kirk's barbed straight sword, is that it's short. It's relatively short, and so I often just barely miss my enemy. Weird, they were ignoring me. That's unusual. Sometimes the man serpents ignore me as they run up, but those guys usually don't ignore me. So the religious girl, what else does she do, guys? She uses religion as a weapon to punish and control you. She'll tell you that God's punishing you, that God says you can't do that the pastor says you can't do that, the pastor's on her side, that all the other people at church know how you are, and they know what you do, and they know that you're a bad person. And if you don't do this, she's going to tell the pastor, or she's going to tell the deacon, or she's going to tell the priest, or she's going to tell the minister. And of course, a lot of ways that they do that is they pretend that they're going to go tell the pastor or priest or deacon or whatever. They're going to tell them so that they can get help and that counseling and, you know, get that spiritual guidance that they need. Of course, the real intent is to punish you and try to control you, but she's always going to try to frame it to make her look like the good person out of the whole thing, the good guy, so to speak. She will control the religious choices, such as what denomination you're part of, what church you go to, the Shoot, I can't even read my own handwriting, guys. The service times, the types of services, whether kids get baptized here or there or when. And like a good blue-pilled beta male husband or whatever, you're just going to do whatever she says. Well, you know, she's real passionate about it. I don't really care that much, so and it doesn't really matter to me. And no, women don't see it that way. Women don't see it as, well, yeah, he's letting me do this because it doesn't matter that much to him. She's not saying to her friends, he's letting me do this. She sees you as a wuss that doesn't take charge. That lets her, that basically accepts her control. That's how she sees you, okay? She doesn't see you as a winner. She doesn't see you as an alpha, okay? I'm gonna get shocked. Woo! She doesn't see you as some strong alpha who's putting her in charge. She sees you as a wuss that doesn't take charge. I'm just telling you. Believe me. You'll find out the hard way if you don't find out the easy way. Oh, good. He's still alive. I get to... What the heck? Woo, that was a lot of health left on him. I could do a man serpent sword, but I don't know what kind of shield they have. I don't think you can get that shield in the game. Unless it's just a shield I don't recognize. Alright, enough of that annoying noise. Time for a good old slide down. In addition to that, she will use church members and everyone else against you, as we discussed. So that's something to consider. And when she involves you in church, if things go bad, guess what's going to happen? Yeah, she's going to cut you off. And then you'll be cut off from the church because she will continue to go to the church and it'll be her thing and no longer your thing. You'll be the outsider. You'll be made to be the outsider and you'll accept that role, whether you realize you're accepting it or not. You'll be a beta male accepting it and tolerating it. You won't go there anymore because she goes there. She'll have all those friends there. All your friends you knew from the church will slowly kind of distance themselves from you. Because why? She's telling them all that you're abusive, manipulative, controlling, that you hit the kids, that you did this, that you did that you're a terrible father, and that you even, you know, sexually assaulted her. And she'll make up all sorts of horrible stories about you so that they think you're the bad guy. So don't be surprised if all the church members, everyone in charge of the church, your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers all suddenly start thinking that, you know, you are the face of evil incarnate. Because that's what she's going to push. Open the doors to freedom. And that's sort of a prison of your own making. You will allow that to happen, and you will participate in it. And you won't even realize that that's what you're doing. Did you see that quick little dodge? Whoops, missed. Come here, buddy. Come here. Oh, wow. I did not think that was going to work. There we go. So, religious girl is very dangerous. Just as dangerous as any other. She is not safe. She's not a better bet. She is not... no. She is just as bad as the rest, if not worse. Because she has another weapon that the others don't have. Religion is now a weapon that she'll use against you. That stupid bouncing off shit when they don't bounce off shit. I've said this a million times. If I'm going to bounce off the walls, they need to bounce off the walls. Imagine how that sounds to people that don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, time to turn this thing around. Literally. What we got here? Oh, we got a longbow. Don't need it, but that's fine. Won't hurt us. Speaking of which, bottomless box, bottomless box, bottomless box. Oh, really? Really? This is where stabbing him with this would come in handy. Although in this case, I don't get the stab attack unless I put it in my right hand. Alright. So now, we need to get this figured out. Okay. Ooh, that almost got me. Oh, shit. I meant to kill that guy first. Whatever. Forget it. Might get shot in the back, but that's okay, right? Woo. Well, oh my goodness, this is going to take a while. So, what's the solution for the religious girl? Same solution for all the other troublesome women is you basically just get rid of that relationship. It's no good. Remember, guys, it's always... It generally comes back to the same advice, although it depends because there are levels to it. If she's kind of using religion at times, but she's not completely awful. There is some... You feel like there is some redemptive quality to her. You feel like, you know, she's not all bad. There are some pros and cons to this. You could make this work. Then you want to start setting some firm boundaries. And one thing you need to do is go ahead and tell her you guys are going to go to a different church. Even if you like the church. Even if it's temporary, but don't tell her that. Don't say, well, we're just going to go to this church for just a little bit, then we'll come back. No, tell her, we're going to start going to a new church. And we'll see what happens. Just tell her that. What you're doing is you're setting some groundwork. You're letting her know you're making the decisions, not her. Now, if you're not comfortable with that, then I think you've got a lot to learn about male-female dynamics. Women don't want a man that just does everything that they tell them to. You may think that, they may talk like that, they may say that. That's not the case. It really isn't. She wants you to take charge and lead, so do it. And as an exercise to show yourself and to sort of put her to the test, go ahead and... Let me see what's in here. Okay. I applied these filters from NVIDIA graphics card to Dark Souls Remastered. The only catch is it does make dark areas look really dark. What you need to do is put her to the test and switch churches. Don't tell her you're going to come back to that church. Don't give her any indication that it's temporary, because then she'll go, okay, well, this is fine. We'll just do this for a bit and come back. Let her believe that you're making a permanent decision that she must abide by, and see what her response is. If her response is, no, we're not going to church. Well, I'm still... That'll tell you a lot. That'll tell you a lot of what you need to know. So that's one of the ways you can kind of set some boundaries. Like, hey, this is what we do. I choose the church in this family. And if she's not comfortable with that, then you need to let her know that then you guys aren't going to be a family. Or at least not a couple. Depending on where you're at and whether you have kids. And this is so vitally important that it is worth the relationship hinging on it. The relationship's success or failure should hinge on such a test. You're not losing something good because you're being petty. You are losing something that you never wanted and never should have had in the first place and wasn't good for you. It just won't work out. I think just practical experiences, all the men in the red pill, all the notes and experiences that they share. It's just we know typically what kinds of relationships work and which don't. And the problem is that you're going to think, well, you know, Fox, actually, I think I'm in that 0.1% of relationships where we don't have to have the male lead. The woman can lead and be totally happy, and I could be happy. Probably not, guys. Seriously, probably not. If you think you're in the small minority that allows you to be lazy or not take charge or not have to change or not have to leave or not have to cut off somebody, you're not. You're just telling yourself that because you don't want to make the difficult decision. You're trying to convince yourself that you are that one extremely rare exception to the rule so that you don't have to abide by the rule and change something in your life that you don't want to change. You don't have to take charge. You don't have to make a sacrifice. You don't have to give anything up. You can keep everything you got just the way it is because you're the exception to the rule. Please don't do that. And think about it this way. You may have this thought of, well, what if I was the exception to the rule? What if my girl was the exception and we could have made it work? Again, you know what that is? Scarcity mindset. That's you under this impression like, well, if I get rid of this girl, what if I never find another one? What if I never find happiness? What if she's the best I'll ever do? That's that scarcity mindset. That belief... Whoa. What an asshole. That's that belief that if you lose her, you'll never find another. Or if you lose her, it'll be all downhill from there. You got to get out of that mindset, you know? In all things in life, but especially when it comes to women. Don't get into this mindset that this one woman is the thing for you. She is your soulmate. You're only the... You know, if you lose her, there'll never be another one quite like her. And I mean, I guess that's true. There'll never be another one exactly like her. But there'll be plenty that could be better. There'll be plenty that are worse. There'll be plenty that are about the same. And you can get all of those. You can have several at the same time dating. As long as they know that you're not exclusive. Don't deceive them. I think it'd be a total douchebag move to make a woman think that you guys are monogamous when you're not. Don't do that. Don't do that. Make sure she's aware. Don't straight up be like, hey, by the way, I just want to let you know I got several girls, other girls. Just say, you know, I'm out there exploring my options. I'm not really ready right now to commit to just one woman. You know, you just let her know that you have other options open. What? That went right through his head. There we go. So, have I dated more than one woman at once? Yes, I have. Did they know about it? Yes, they did. They actually met each other. So, I don't recommend that, but that's a thing that can happen. And yes, believe it or not, I turned down an offer for a threesome. Would I turn that offer down nowadays? I'll let you guys wonder about that. But yeah, I did turn down an offer for a threesome for two very attractive women. Oh well, that's life. I had my reasons. I probably would have made the same decision based on everything I had at the time. Hindsight is 20/20 though. Anyway, try to look at life as if you're looking back at it. That's a totally different way to look at things. Like, look at a situation right now and think, 10, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, how would I look at this situation? What would I be saying? What would I be saying to myself if I could talk to myself now, 20 years later? What might have happened and how might I look back on what happened and how it went down? That's an interesting exercise. I think that would be really cool to go over some scenarios and then predict how they might go down and how we would look at it in the decisions we make. I don't know why I'm killing all these things. I really don't need to. I'm doing it anyway. Who knows? Maybe I want another sorcery playthrough. I could do another playthrough with sorcery and the Moonlight Butterfly Horn. I think that's what I did on this character. I think I got the Moonlight Butterfly Horn. Don't have time to look for it right now, obviously. Ooh, that worked out perfectly. I don't know why that other guy didn't try to hit me. Oh, shoot. Whew. Now, I did actually do a playthrough with the Moonlight Butterfly Horn in the Witch Beatrice set. I did the Witch Beatrice set in a... What was it? Enchanted Longsword? Magic Longsword? Enchanted Longsword? Alright. The only thing about these sodas is the carbonation makes it difficult to speak at times when it wants to come back up. Coffee and tea is just so much more amenable to commentary. You can hear all the crystallization. The twinkling crystal sounds. Such beauty and such grace. What else does the religious girl do? Well, she'll claim that what she's doing is of God and what you're doing is not. It might be of Satan or the devil or from evil or whatever your specific religion says. And like I said, let's be honest, we talk about religion as if there are a whole bunch out there. But in the vast majority of cases, if anyone's watching this video, then it's almost certain that you're part of one of two different religions, either Christianity or Islam. There really aren't many other religions that dictate what people must or can do or have moral sets of values and whatnot. Like there's like Shintoism and Buddhism and whatnot, but these are more like they're sort of more philosophies of life, less so about gods and about morality and what you are allowed to do, judgment, afterlife. A lot of them don't include any of that stuff. Oh, got him just in time. I haven't killed this guy in a long time. I usually just skip him. He's not worth fighting most of the time. And off we go. Where am I going? There we are. Okay, I see it. I remember when I used to tread very carefully here and drop down the prism stones and all that jazz. Not so much anymore. And I definitely don't fight those butterflies. They're not worth it. They're just a pain in the butt. Especially if you don't have good ranged attacks, which I really don't. That bow doesn't do a lot when it's completely unupgraded. Oh no, I didn't want to get the attention of two at once. That can get tricky. Oh no. Oh shoot. Well, I got rid of one. Here's the... Okay, come on. Got him. Gotta walk into them to tell for sure if they dropped anything. So, and the other thing too about the religious girl is she will mislead others. She will have others convinced that she's the good little girl. And Christian men or Muslim men will jump to her aid if she claims that she's, you know, she's been offended by you, hurt by you, bothered by you, abused by you, whatever she comes up with. There are lots and lots of beta male white knights in Christianity and Islam, specifically and particularly in Christianity. Beta males, I mean, Christianity breeds beta males, modern day Christianity, because it's a very feminized thing. It's been taken over by the feminine imperative. Churches are just basically bastions of the feminine imperative and the feminine social order. Whether led by men or led by women, the female dominant social order is the way that churches operate. That's why you notice that typically more women go to church. Typically when families go, it's the woman that wants to go. Typically it's the woman that's choosing which church they go to. Typically it's the woman enrolling them in whatever special activities, whether it's the kids or whether it's the whole family. And typically it's the woman who seeks any special counseling there. And you have to understand that in the vast majority of cases, I can't prove this, but this is just what I believe, and you guys can take it with a grain of salt for what it's worth. But I believe that in the vast majority of cases, if a woman seeks counseling at a church, from church members, the pastors, or whatever, the purpose is to try to get her husband to change. The purpose is to try to change her husband. I don't believe the purpose is to improve herself. I don't believe the purpose is to genuinely improve the relationship. I don't believe there's a 50-50 belief or some equality mindset. I believe the specific purpose is always and will always be to coerce the man into changing, to coerce the husband into changing, to coerce him into having a different viewpoint, to believing differently, to basically accepting her version of reality, accepting what she has for him. Which, of course, is from God, because what she believes is the teaching of God. Oh, shoot. I went right into it. Oh my gosh. I almost went right into it again. He's being tricky today. Little tricky bastard today. Whoa! I didn't even know I was dodging a melee attack. And yet I was. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Here it comes. Well, I thought it was coming, but it didn't. Oh, I think I got him now. Oh yeah, we got him. Easy mode. Damn! Why'd I do that? I forgot to cut his tail. You know what? I gotta remind myself. I'm gonna respawn him and cut his tail. Cut Seath tail. I want to get that tail. Get some tail. That's what it's about, guys. For the Moonlight Greatsword. It is weird, though, that cutting his tail gives you just a sword with a handle and everything. Then again, you get a sword from, what's her name? Priscilla. Time for some repairs. When it comes to armor and weapons in Dark Souls, you can repair them. When it comes to relationship gone bad, gotta be honest, I think I would say almost without question, just assume it's bad. It's gone bad. It's like a fruit that's gone rotten. You can't put it in the fridge. You can't put it in any container. You can't nurse it back to health. Once the fruit's gone rotten, it's rotten. You have to throw it out. It's done. Now, you don't throw her out in the trash. You don't do something to her. You just throw away the relationship, so to speak. You leave. You're done. You know? So, I think I can warp back here, right? I hope I can. I'm just going to assume that I can. If not, whatever. I'm not going to respawn them right now, because that would require shutting down the program and relaunching and all that. So, we definitely don't want to finish this playthrough quite yet. We got more to talk about. We have, let me see, the other additional types of predatory women. We have the feminist. We have the sugar daddy girl, which I have a surprising number of notes on, but the conversation won't really last that long. And we have the abuser. Okay, I definitely want to get to the sugar daddy girl's not so important. Overlaps with the overlaps a little bit with the gold digger. Let's go to, I know, we'll go back to the Northern Undead Asylum and kill the other stray demon. Whatever his name is. But Sugar Daddy Girl's just more upfront about it. We'll talk about that. I might combine that with another type. There's plenty to say about the feminist. Feminist is the solution. That's easy too. Same as solution for a religious, narcissistic, or borderline girl. You just leave. You just get out. You plan your escape, and it all depends on how deeply intertwined you are with them. You know, married, you absolutely need to get a very good male lawyer that cares about your rights. Don't get yourself a lawyer that's just going to, run you by the numbers and get you in, take a bunch of your money, file the standard shit, get you the standard deal. You see your kids 4 days a month. You pay a shit ton in child support. No, don't do that. Seriously, don't do that, guys. Don't be that guy. Don't get stuck with that crap. Whoa, there we go. Your goal should be 50-50 custody. And don't pay any more in child support than you need to, because child support is just a giant hustle for states to get federal funds. It's not about the child. It never was. The best way you can tell that child support is not about the interests of the child, it's not about the child's well-being, is because once child support is dispersed to the mother, and the majority goes to mom, they do not care at all how it is spent. In fact, in many cases, they're prohibited from asking her. So that means that if you send her $500 a month in child support, she could take all 500 of those dollars and deposit them into her convicted felon boyfriend's prison bank account. And they will not care. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they will do. She could tell them she's doing it and they wouldn't care. It wouldn't matter. It means nothing. She could tell the court, yeah, I spend all that money to buy a really luxury nice car. Like, you pay $600 a month, and she spends the whole thing on her second luxury car that she doesn't need. They don't care. They do not care. So it's not about the child. All that it matters is that they collect that money from you. And if you've ever wondered why they're so adamant about collecting that money, why do they care so much about getting that money, but they don't care about the father having access to his kids, and they don't care about whether the kids are receiving any benefit from it? It's because the more money they collect in child support, the more federal funds they get. It's a money-making scheme for the states. So, just so you know, if you ever wondered about it, type in Title 4D and 4 is spelled IV, the Roman numerals. Type in title 4D child support hustle. Type that into Google and start doing research and learning how it's a big giant government scam that the states put up to get money from the federal government. It'll send you down a rabbit hole that can be very, very depressing and sad, because you'll also see that sometimes the child protective services, like the child protective service in your state, may likely receive large chunks of money for every child they take out of a home. Like, I'm not kidding you. They take a child out of a home away from parents, they receive a bunch of federal funds. Obviously, the idea is that the federal funds help support their work, but oftentimes it's a way to make money. So what are they doing with the federal funds? Keeping it and using it to just fund the program, to buy extra stuff, get more vehicles, buy nicer office, get office supplies, whatever they need. So there's an incentive for them to take your child out of your house because they get this big chunk of change. And if you get your child right back, they get to keep all that money the federal government gave them. So if they take your child for just a couple days and they get, say, $5,000 from the federal government, they can then turn around and keep almost all of that because it didn't cost them $5,000 to house your child for a couple days. And then they just get tons of money. It's a good money-making scam for the states. We could do a Black Knight playthrough. I've never done one of those. I've done a Silver Knight playthrough. I've got everything I need for the Black Knight playthrough, and then we could upgrade each of the Black Knight weapons. Alright. So we have what we need to get to the Painted World. We'll do the Painted World since we need more topics for conversation. I do believe we have all of the Lord Souls. We defeated Seath at the Duke's Archives. We defeated the 4 Kings. Oh, look who's down here. Oh shit, that was a fast move. He's quick sometimes. Oh, you asshole. He kicked me because he knows how much I hate that kick. That bonfire keeps popping up and down and up and down. Alright, there we go. Let's do this. Oh, that might be one too many now that I think about it, because I already had one in my stock, but let's see. I feel like I lost my train of thought and I was talking about something that didn't finish it, but oh well, it's gone now. Just like my Zevia Cherry Cola, that's also gone. I doubt I'll ever need 20 Estus from this, but boom, there we are. Now, there's no point in going up for that other ring. We already have it, and you can't have more than one. Well, I mean, you can't use more than one. Hello? Oh no! I fell! Did you like that roll behind him, through him? I'm in a corner here, aren't I? I got him. I got him. Oh shit. Especially with the bleed. Oh, here we go. Would have had him before, but I missed quite a few times there. Ooh. It sucked to accidentally not see that Titanite slab. Really, that is so important. They should just have it pop onto your inventory automatically. It sucked to miss that and not pick it up. It's one of, I think there are only 2 guaranteed Titanite slabs per playthrough. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Maybe there's a third one somewhere I'm not thinking of. There's the one here, and then there's the one in the DLC. Yeah, the DLC near, what's his face? The dragon, which I didn't fight. Whom I did not fight. I haven't fought Calamite yet. So that's something. We could waste some time on Calamite. Usually takes me a couple rounds to kill him. I usually die a few times. In frustration. Oh, it still got me. I could trade some items to Snuggly, Sparkly, whatever she's called, but nah. Let's just move on. Let's get on down and get out of here. Which is what you should do in a bad relationship. So if your girl's using religion as a tool, like I said, if you're trying to fix it, set some boundaries, start making decisions, make calls that you think she wouldn't be cool with if she were an unreasonable woman. If she, if you tell her you're going to go to a new church and you guys are going to a new church together as a couple or as a family, and she doesn't offer much objection or she at least agrees to do it, then that's a good idea. And if you can find a better church for you guys to go to and stick with, do it. Stick with it. Abandon the other church. That doesn't mean you tell all the people there that, screw you all. No. I mean, yeah, you can maintain those friendships and relationships, but you just pick a new church because now that church is part of your frame instead of hers. Let's see. What shall we do now? Let's go unlock the painted world. How about that? Although I thought I was going to do something. Oh well, don't remember. Anne Orlando it is. Or Chamber of the Princess, Anne Orlando. Chamber of the Princess, Anne Orlando. Chamber of the Princess, Anne Orlando. Chamber of the Anne Orlando. Anne Orlando. Although, nah, whatever, leave it. Good enough. I guess I don't need to kill her for any reason. We'll leave it. I get 5 humanity per Firekeeper's soul, though. That's something. I mean, if I were leveling up in the Dark Wraith Covenant, that would be useful. The other thing to know about the religious girl is she'll oh, yes. She will raise the boys to be very feminine, generally, and to have feminine values and feminine ideals. So you have to be very careful with that. If you have a son or sons, she's going to want to raise them to be very beta, very wimpy, very feminized. And that's not good. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. I think I'm going to need to push this down one more, aren't I? Because if I go down a level... Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll drop down here and hopefully not take too much damage as we flip our way down. This used to do damage to you if you ran down while it was turning. Yep, see? The way that the geometry works, it's a little odd at times. Okay, so now we get this bonfire unlocked. That's good. In the ring? Yeah, awesome. And on top of that, we're going to use this and upgrade this bonfire. For no known reason other than just because we can. And we have so much extra humanity. So we ran out of stuff to discuss about the religious girl. Just be aware that it's just a tool. Now that's not true of all women, obviously. Not all women do all of these terrible things we talk about, but please don't be under the false impression that we're talking about a minority of bad women out there. I would say the vast majority of women have some element of some of these things that we've discussed. And the worst cases are those where they know what they're doing and they don't have a problem. You know what? I need to send this back up in case something happens. And then I'll just go back down here. Whoop. Love that flip. Oh, but you get stuck right there. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright, and that's where we were just a moment ago. Alright, this area can be a little frustrating to try to get through. What about a Painting Guardian playthrough? Do they have 2 Painting Guardian swords in their hands? Yes, okay. They usually drop them pretty frequently, though. They do drop them a lot. They're definitely not rare. What? Oh, he rolled out of the way. That's why. Oh, and they do have a shield. Okay, they have the little buckler. Looks like the buckler shield. That's interesting. I forgot about that. They can whip out their shield. Interesting. Very interesting. Very fascinating. Got him. So that would give me the option of dual wielding the Painting Guardian swords, in which case I really wouldn't use the offhand one. I don't use offhand weapons very much. Or using the shield. So I would actually have the option for a small shield. Or an Iron Tarkus playthrough, because I have the whole set right there. Boom, done. Actually, did it not give me the helmet? Or maybe it just scrolled off the screen. Iron Tarkus, fat rolling, or maybe medium rolling. With the Havel's ring in the Ring of Favor and Protection, we could probably medium roll through it. And that would be good enough. The snowy painted world of Ariamis. A pretty cool level. Bit of trivia for those that don't know, this was like a test area that they designed first, and they had to retrofit into the game's mythos and story. And that's why it's in a painting and not part of the actual world, because they couldn't find a good way to fit it into the main world, connect it to the main world. So they have it be sort of this, I don't know what the word is for it, this sort of off-world fantasy area, imaginary dream world. Well, we're pretty much going to call it here. I don't want to get started with only a few minutes to go. So it's a slightly shorter episode than before, but again, you should be aware of how women can use religion as just a tool and a weapon, both to prompt themselves up and to bring you down as a man. And it can be a tactic of predatory women. Yes. Next episode is the feminist. Let me give you a heads up on that one. I'm going to blow the whole secret, guys. When it comes to feminists, don't date them. If you're on a date with one, and she makes it clear that she's a feminist, and you can tell she's like this third wave, crazy, out there, wild, insane, you know, the patriarchy, bullshit, nonsense feminist, just get up all your stuff and be like, oh, sorry we had to waste a little of our time here, but I don't date feminists. Thanks for the opportunity. Have a good one. And you get up and you just walk out. If she tries to stop you, be willing to listen to what she says. If she tries to stop you, well, anyway, we'll get to that later. But if she did try to stop you, want to at least see if she's going to say something good. And here I am. My character's got this nervous habit of twitching his legs. It's actually a male character. This was, if you've noticed from me getting hit, I didn't even put this on a female character. Sorry, I had to retrofit this cosplay thing onto female. But anyway, guys, make sure to follow me here or subscribe rather. Here on YouTube, click the notification bell icon and get notifications all the time. Like the video if you liked it. Leave a comment. I do read them all. Direct message me on Twitter if you have any direct questions and would like to know my opinion on your situation. I'm not going to lie. I won't tell you I'm an expert on everything. If I don't know what to do in your situation, I'll just give you my personal opinion of what I think I might do. But I'll tell you, maybe you want to seek out some other advice too. You can follow me on other social media. Links are in the description. And I think I covered all the bases there. As always, guys, make sure to maintain your frame. And I will see you all next time. Later.